Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Members of the class of 1963. Followed by the trustees and faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating class of 2013. Here they come. Oh, come on, you can give them a round of applause. Here they are. Let's lift up their spirits. They're already gliding on air. Young, beaming faces. Look at that.
Dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Sheberach et avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, v'imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah. Hu yivarech otanu habogrim, she'omdim lefanecha, al sipo shel shlav chadash b'chayenu, levavenu mle'im ugdushim, behodaya, betikva, uvitzipia. Anu omdim al mishmar atzmenu, nafshenu, וחיינו, ומתחילים לצעוד בפסיעות ראשונות בדרך חדשה, בעוזבנו את הביטחון, הנוחיות, קלות הקיום ותמימות הילדות. אנו נפרדים מהמוכר והידוע ועומדים בפני האתגרים, להישאר מחויבים לעצמנו ולמי שאנו שואפים להיות. היום אנחנו חוצים גבול משמעותי ועוברים לעולם גדול ועצום מאוד. תן לנו לזכור את ערכי המוסר שקיבלנו כאן. אל תיתן לנו לשכוח את העקרונות היהודיים שהתחנכנו על ברכיהם, יראת שמיים, אהבת תורה ומצוות, מסירות לעם היהודי ולמדינת ישראל. עזור לנו להעריך את מחנכינו, הורינו ומשפחותינו, שעשו את משימת החיים שלהם, לעצב אותנו לאנשים חזקים, בשלים ומתחשבים. תודה לקהל על מה שהיה ועל מה שעוד לא היה, ויהיה לטובה, כולי תקווה, ונאמר אמן.
Please be seated. That was Rachel Hubner, who delivered an absolutely magnificent prayer. Not just in beautiful Hebrew, but in the way in which a prayer is supposed to be constructed and created. Yishar kochech. That's good. The senior contingent of the Ramaz Chamber Choir led us in the Star-Spangled Banner and will, please God, lead us in Hatikva at the conclusion of these exercises. The members of that august group, Josh Jaspan, Aaron Cole, John Koptiev, Elliot Linder, and Talia Sharon. And now, our first class speaker, Eli Mendelson.
Kvod Harav, Rosh Beit HaSefer, Menahalim, Morim, Horim, Uvnei Mishpacha Yekarim. Erev Tov L'Kolchem. Ani Omed Hayom Bifnechem, Nidham Rugash Litzpot Behesegenu, Lehagia Ad Halom. Hitkanasnu Kan, Lachgog et Siyum Limudenu, Beveit HaSefer HaTichon, Uchmochen, et Hatchalat Kufat Bagrutenu. Haderach Lehagia, L'Rega Zeh, Huska al Yedei Ma'umatzenu Ha'akademaim Harabim, Uvnosaf Lechach, ואולי אף מעל לכך, בסיוע ובתמיכה של הקהילה המורחבת של ישיבת רמז, הורינו ובני משפחותינו. החוויה שלנו כתלמידים בישיבת רמז לא התרכזה אך ורק סביב הציר האקדמי. במהלך תקופת לימודינו כאן, היינו חשופים לאירועים פוליטיים, חברתיים ודתיים שונים. היינו כעם אחד להתפלל עבור שובו המהיר של גלעד שליט מהשבי מדי יום ביומו. היינו כקהילה מגובשת ומורגשת כשגלעד הגיע לבקר אותנו בבית הספר עם חבריו ליחידה. הרגשנו לאורך כל שנות לימודינו כאן את אותה הזיקה המתמדת שלנו כבודדים וכקהילה לאירועים המשמעותיים שמתחוללים גם על במת מדינת ישראל וגם בזירה הבינלאומית. לדוגמה, לאחר הסופה סנדי התנדבנו לעזור בשיקום קהילות שאיבדו את כל רכושם וביתם כתוצאה מהסופה הנוראה. כמו כן, שלחנו חבילות לחיילי צה"ל ולחיילי ארצות הברית כדי לחזק את נפשם וגופם ולבטא את התמיכה שלנו בהם. הוקרנו את ימי הזיכרון גם לחיילי צה"ל וגם לחיילי ארצות הברית. מימשנו את הצהרת הייעוד של בית ספרנו מדי יום ביומו, בכך ששמרנו בקנאות תמיד על ערכי המוסר היהודים בכל תחום ורובד בחיינו. יישמנו הלכה למעשה את השילוב שבין לימודי הקודש ללימודי החול במציאות שבה חיינו. פעלנו על פי הרעיון הפילוסופי שהרב ג'וסף לוקסטין, זיכרונו לברכה, הרבה לומר, אדם אף פעם אינו לבדו אם הוא שותף בשושלת המסורת היהודית שבה הוא מייצג את החוליה האחרונה. מחנכינו כאן הנחילו לנו את מערכת הערכים היהודית והאנושית כדי שנוכל להפנים אותה וליישמה במצבים שונים ובתקופות שונות בחיינו העתידיים. קיבלנו כאן חיזוק אדיר לזהות היהודית והישראלית שבנו, ועם בזאת את הכלים לתקשר עם העולם הפלורליסטי והמגוון מחוץ לקהילתנו. עמדנו בשערי בית הספר התיכון, דומים במקצת לבני ישראל בתחילת דרכם במדבר. קבוצה של תלמידים עם תקוות וחלומות, פחדים ומשאלות. כמו בני ישראל, נשאנו עינינו למנהיגות החינוכית ברמז, על כל רמותיה, כדי שתהיה עבורנו אור תמיד ומנחה. עברנו את כברת הדרך הארוכה, כשעמוד האש מאיר לנו את דרכנו ונתיבנו. אני מאחל לכל חבריי למחזור 2013 שיקחו עמם את אוצרות אבני היסוד שקיבלנו כאן, מחקירה ולימוד של טקסטים יהודים, נאמנות ואחריות למדינת ישראל, שמירת המצוות וערנות ומוכנות לסייע לנזקק ולפגוע. חלקנו ילמד בישיבות בארץ בשנה הבאה, וחלקנו יתחיל את לימודיו בארצות הברית. אבל על כולנו מוטלת האחריות להגשים כל אחד על פי דרכו ואופיו את המוטל עליו. להיות נציג שומר מצוות, משכיל, בעל תובנה ואמפתיה של העם היהודי בעולם הגדול. כל האיכויות האלו יחזקו את רמת התרומה שלכם לחברה שבה תחיו. בשעה טובה ובמזל טוב.
Thank you, Eli Mendelson, for a really wonderful Hebrew valedictory address. Really excellent ideas and beautiful Hebrew language. Now, our second class speaker, David Schwerert.
K-N-A-I-D-E-L. Knaidel. That was easy. As I'm sure many of you know, Knaidel was the winning word at this year's National Spelling Bee. I could have spelled that, even without the magic foot. We all could have spelled it. But what about glossophogeny, or trichocircus, or the other 22 words that Arvind Mahankali had to spell correctly in order to get to the big prize? Today, class of 13, we are receiving our big prize as we celebrate our graduation. All I see are hopeful faces, proud parents, smiling teachers. This, my friends, is our Knaidel moment. But we too have had to pass our 22 words, our trials and tribulations to get to this stage. I don't need to remind you that these past 4 years we've been through it all. Awkward stages, history papers, tests, more tests, tears, and plenty of tantrums. But it is precisely the challenges and the triumphs of overcoming them that I want to focus on today. Kvod Rabbanim, dear teachers, parents, guests, and fellow graduates, it is truly an honor to be standing here today. When faced with a challenge, Ramaz students tend to ask, what would Rabbi Lookstein do? So when I prepared for this speech, I knew instantly where to turn for inspiration. When Rabbi Lookstein talks about someone in particular, a bar mitzvah boy or a kallah, for example, he doesn't only rely on his own observations. Instead, he gathers valuable input from friends, teachers, and relatives. So, following Rabbi Lookstein's formula, I asked all those who know our grade best, students, faculty, security guards, and administrators, to weigh in. I asked them questions like, what was your most memorable moment with the class of 2013? Or, what was the most valuable lesson that the class learned here at Ramaz? At times, my questions were targeted to specific people. I asked Rabbi Shayowitz, if our class were a Masechet of Talmud, which Masechet would it be? I asked our security guard, Dwight, out of all the kids in the class of 2013, who poses the biggest security threat? I asked Isabel, who's the best looking guy in the grade? Some of the questions produced completely different answers. Let me give you an example. I asked, what will you miss most about the class of 2013? Dr. Jacoby said, hearing Immanuel Cantor begin a question with a polite apology. Hillel Rapp said, Nina. And another teacher who wanted to stay anonymous answered, walking to school with Avi, walking home with Avi, hanging Avi's tests up on the bulletin board in my office, giving up one of my drawers for Avi's books, being interrupted during teaching to give Avi snack money. Other questions, though, produced much more homogeneous results. I asked, what makes the class of 13 such a memorable class? Most interviewees, from Dr. Copeland to Rabbi Shayowitz, to Mr. Elisha, to Nina Leibowitz, and to Tishar, zeroed in on a single common quality, which is cohesion. Regardless of our individual tastes and temperaments, we always come together as a group. Sometimes right from the start, and sometimes only a minute before the end. But invariably, it is our sense of unity that prevails and allows us to overcome whatever obstacle stands in our way. Allow me to share with you a few examples. We all know that Noam has a true weakness for Diet Coke. And yes, Noam, we know that you can stop anytime you want to. What we didn't know, however, is that Diet Coke, virtually inexistent in Poland. So you can imagine his dismay when we got there. But what you probably can't imagine is how much it weighed on the rest of us. At every kiosk, every cafeteria, every restaurant, we all asked for Diet Coke, desperate to track down the drink our friends so craved. Finally, one day, the restaurant at which we were eating had one bottle left in their inventory. Now, the waiter was probably thinking we'd all fight over it since so many of us had asked for the drink. Little did he know that we would all direct the bottle to a single individual, and that once Noam held it safely in his hands, the entire class would break out in cheers. Speaking of cheers, another story comes to mind. When we were asked to put on the senior play this year, we all thought it'd be a breeze. The senior cast wouldn't need the kind of seasoned, tough love guidance Miss Goldberg usually provides. After all, we were grown-ups, collegial and very cool with each other. Then came the awakening, and it was rude. Rehearsals proved a disaster. Few people showed up, and those that did mostly goofed. Now, don't get me wrong, we were all excited for the show, but something fundamental was amiss. A week before D-Day, the show was still in no condition to be put on stage, and we resigned ourselves to the inevitable. We would have to cancel the senior play. Before that, though, we convened in a grade-wide meeting. It soon turned out that our class was in no way prepared to give up, and we looked for ways to save our show. Together, we realized what the problem was. We had failed to solidify as a team. Moving forward, we would have to believe in what we were preaching, or rather singing on stage. You know, we're all in this together. No sooner had that decision been taken than things started to turn around dramatically. Everyone was energized. Everyone was committed. Our leading man, Cop, learned all his lines. Tova actually started showing up. Lovable Adi turned into a fierce moderator. And John Herman metamorphosed into a perfect Jason. When the big night came, we were ready. The seniors had a blast, the audience was quelling, and all agreed that this might have been the best senior play ever. Most recently, our capacity to unite over a common goal has also helped us overcome some deeper emotional conflicts. During our trip to Poland, many of us were able to see firsthand the remnants of our people's rich heritage and the sites of its devastating fate. Both proved deeply troubling, as did the gamut of reactions that we were experiencing. From Auschwitz, we went straight to Jerusalem, to the Kotel. And while we'd been warned not to expect too much from that particular segment of the trip, we expected a sense of, if not jubilation, then at least relief. It did not set in. On the contrary, confusion seemed to prevail and even deepen. On the afternoon of our arrival in Israel, we were all listlessly, aimlessly hanging around, each one of us miles apart from the other. Some students listened to their iPods, others read a book. Some wrote in their journals, others just sat there, trying to make sense of it all. Suddenly, Aaron Cole gathered a few friends and started doing spot-on impressions of some memorable people on our trip. Everyone started laughing. Other people tried to follow Aaron's suit. Soon the entire grade was sitting in a circle, in unison. No, we had not forgotten what we had seen, nor had we yet started to comprehend it. But we understood once again that strength and relief are not found in a place, and not even in sites, as holy as they may be, but rather in a strong sense of allegiance and belonging. So, class of 13, what does this all teach us? First and foremost, gratitude. Gratitude to nature for giving us the ability to bond so seamlessly and so effortlessly. And gratitude to Ramaz for nurturing this gift at every step of the way. Those of you who started out in pre-K, as I did, may still remember our hymn, "Here at Ramaz we are one." Anyone else still sing that in the shower? Jokes aside, we all know that our education here at Ramaz does not only promote academic excellence and religious pursuit on a personal level, it also fosters a strong sense of unity and communal responsibility. Who could ever forget the numerous assemblies, Shabbatons, and color wars, all designed to bring us closer together? On second thought, maybe we should forget the color wars. Of course, at Ramaz, commitment to unity and communal responsibility is not confined to a grade or even to our entire school. When I asked Risa about the proudest moment for the class of 2013, she answered for all of us. Seeing Gilad Shalit sitting in our school auditorium, in the very building where we davened for his safe release every day of his captivity. In that unforgettable moment, we understood the value of unity on a larger scale, the privilege of belonging to a people and sharing its fate. But where does this leave us, class of 13? As of tomorrow, we all go our own separate ways. Coming together has helped us in the past, sure, but what of it now? Well, first off, let me assure you, we'll be seeing each other all the time. We'll all be there when the Weisses become the first twins to win the Nobel Prize. We'll all be there when Gerwich wins his first US Open. And there is no way that any of us are going to miss Jakey Jam Part 2. But more importantly, even when we are apart, let us distill down and capture what we felt standing there in some remote cafeteria in Poland cheering for a bottle of Diet Coke. Let that moment and all the other little euphoric moments that we felt as a grade sustain us and remind us to recreate that sense of belonging and unity with the people who will form our future communities. I asked Dr. Jacoby in my pre-speech questionnaire, if our class were a Shakespeare play, which would it be? Very much in accordance with our 4-year-long struggle, he answered, all's well that ends well. But, and this might be the very first time that I've ever disagreed with Dr. Jacoby, today is not an end. It is, in fact, but a happy break in a hopefully long and successful quest. Rabbi Shayowitz likened our grade to Masechet Shabbat because, as he put it, you know how to relax, but you also know that rest can only come after you've accomplished to the maximum of your potential first. So yes, today it's time to rest. Enjoy our knedel moment. But let's not forget that knedels, once tasted, are addictive. So 2013ers, what are we doing tomorrow? Let us continue on our journey and use our own special gift, our talent for uniting, to promote Hava and Achdut wherever we go. Mazal tov.
I have to say, I've heard a lot of valedictory addresses or class speakers, including 64 years ago when I spoke as a graduate of Ramaz. But first of all, I spoke in Hebrew. The Hebrew speech, nobody ever really cares about. I'm sorry, Eli, it had nothing to do with you. It's just the language. No, but I have never heard in Ramaz a class speaker speak so directly to his class. And that was what really made this special. However, and I should say this to Rabbi Goldman especially, there was one factual error in this talk. I mean, I've been to Poland 6 times, and I'm also, Noam, where are you? I'm hooked on Diet Coke, and I found all the Diet Coke I needed in Poland. I think I even learned how to say Diet Coke in Polish. Oh, you were looking for Coke Zero. Oh, they had Coke Zero, but not Diet Coke. Actually, I like Coke Zero much better than Diet Coke. Okay, Yesha Koach. Beautiful. Just want to let you in on a secret. I don't want Noam to hear this, but someday I'm going to give him a blind test and see whether he can tell the difference between Coke Zero and Diet Coke, and I bet he can't. You've done it, and he failed, right? Oh, well. It was a good speech anyway. Okay. Now the class takes over in a cantata entitled Takalot. And so therefore, class of 1963, Takalot.
Throughout high school, we've encountered numerous challenges.
Yeah, like taking on Stone, Jacoby, the term paper.
So pretty much junior year history.
It wasn't all bad. What about all the fun we had on our Shabbatons?
Oh, like when Andrew Weiss broke his collarbone wrestling in room 522?
Yeah, did Bergfeld ever apologize for that?
No, he did not.
How about all the fun in-school activities?
You mean like color war?
Whoa, too soon, too soon.
Well, at least we learned that when life gives you lemons, attempt a senior ditch day.
Remember when Nazganov pulled the lever?
I thought that was just a fire drill.
Our sports teams did pretty well.
I'll give you girls basketball, but I'm pretty sure the boys' team got teed up 6 times against DRS.
If you ask Ellie Levy, you'll find out that he got kicked off the baseball team twice a year, every year.
And if you ask Talia Sturman, she'll say the girls' hockey team is still going to the ship.
And if you ask Danny Luxembourg,
he'll run out onto the floor and get ejected from the game.
But through all our mishaps, we learned how to turn daunting challenges into incredible memories.
Al kol goyim Hashem. Ram al kol goyim Hashem. Eile barech levi eile basusim banachnu b'Shem. Al kol goyim Hashem.
There's something about teamwork. Having a friend pick you up when you're down, and then you get to return that favor.
Yeah, remember when we were little kids in preschool sharing our glue sticks? Those messages have stuck too.
Find healing when it hurts, so the memories will protect you when they can. About the children you find around you now? Are you making time to sing, talk, and play? So someday they'll have memories of love and being loved, protection that can never go away. May the memories wrap their arms around you. May your childhood take you by the hand. May what you remember find healing when it hurts, so the memories will protect you when they can.
The thing that I'll miss most about our grade is how everyone was there for each other whenever anyone needed help.
Yeah, like during a test, I could always count on a friend to let me see their answers. Just kidding. I mean, we helped each other out with math homework questions.
Remember when Sarah Myers fell in the lake?
Or how about when Bobby got stuck on the subway sophomore year?
I'm pretty sure she found her way back on her own.
I really do think our grade was special, much less cliquey than the other grades.
Uh-oh. I think I'm starting to get emotional.
Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them in my life. I love you more.
All my
Throughout high school, we've appealed to our faith to help us overcome challenges.
Yeah, nothing brings our grade closer than a Tish.
Remember when the senior girls danced for 2 hours after the Yom HaAtzmaut assembly?
Yeah, and when they kicked us out of the auditorium, we went to the gym, and then to the 4th floor lounge.
And remember that mincha in the lounge?
You mean the dance party in the lounge?
How about all of our Shabbatons?
That's how we overcame our freshman year awkward stage.
And junior retreat.
That's how we overcame our junior year depression stage.
And how about that session with Rabbi Slomnicki on the senior Shabbaton when we planned our futures?
Yes, speaking of, where is President Margolis?
Our grade has always had a real passion for Israel and all aspects of Judaism.
Yeah, if you look at our Israel statistics, I think that's pretty clear.
As a grade, we enjoy a good time, but at our core, we care deeply about our faith.
have had some mishaps over the years, but somehow we rise above and keep on going.
Every mistake is a lesson learned, and we come back stronger and better than ever.
Ramaz classes have been tough, but I feel I'm really ready for college.
We've learned lots of stuff. We're great memorizers. But I think we've also learned how to study, and maybe even why to study.
Ever hear of that book, Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten? Well, everything I need to know I learned in Ramaz.
High school was a place for us to find ourselves and grow up. We learned how to make friends, do decently on nearly impossible tasks thrown at us by both life and our history teachers. And we learned how to maintain our Torah values while living modern lifestyles.
But high school is over and it's time to move on. We will never forget the lessons we learned and the reprimands we earned, but we'll use everything that Ramaz taught us to go out into the world and become the people who we know we can be. It's time to show the world what Ramaz kids are made of.
What are y'all doing next year?
I'm going to JTS.
Nice.
Pomona.
Nice.
Harvard.
Nice.
NYU.
Classic.
I've got to admit, I'm really going to miss you guys next year.
Why? It's not like we've bonded as a grade for the past 4 years and have gotten really close.
Dude, are you crying?
No. You know, the senior Facebook group will still be around once we graduate.
Yeah, and we're all going to be up over breaks and stuff.
Blummer session part 2? I mean, intercession part 2?
Precisely.
I guess we won't be that far apart. Maybe to really prove it.
We should do an interpretive dance.
No, just no. We'll see you later.
I feel kind of bad. It's hard to leave everyone, hard to leave home. My mom's moping around the house, missing me already.
Look, we're all in this together. Our families are going to miss us, and we're going to miss each other. But we have to move on. We're ready to fly.
as excited about that as I am? This was just, oh my God. Right up to that blended song at the end, Hebrew, English, rock, schmuck, I don't know. Just so fantastic. Oh my goodness, wow. And I don't think I've ever heard Vihi Sha'amda sung more beautifully than you sang it tonight. Just. So the credits. The cantata was written by Eliza Ezrapour, Talia Scholder, Elliot Linder, and Tova Weinberger. Assisted by Talia Sharon, Ben Rappaport, and James Goldberg. The band, Andrew Bergman on the electric guitar, Andrew Gurwitch on the drums, James Goldberg, saxophone, John Herman, acoustic guitar, Aaron Cole on the keyboards, Effie Landau, electric guitar, and Ben Rappaport, electric guitar. Dr. Edith Honig helped with putting the cantata together, the lyrics, the words, and of course, the whole production and the management of this beautiful, beautiful music, all of the arrangements and everything else. The music maestro of the upper school, Daniel Henkin. Thank you very much. Now we would like to recognize the members of the class of 1963 who are here tonight and ask them just to rise. Daniela Sondheimer Klein, married to a Ramaz alumnus too. George Baumgarten. Michael Neustadter. And Leon Maynor, who happens to be celebrating his 50th anniversary of his graduation together with these classmates, and who also is the father of the young man who's the 10th anniversary speaker, whom I am about to introduce. Members of the class of 1963. Andrew Maynor, a graduate of the class of 2003. Graduated from the University of Pennsylvania with honors in 2007. Holds a Bachelor of Arts with distinction in political science. A graduate of the George Washington University School of Medicine and Health Sciences in 2011, and currently senior internal medicine resident at the George Washington University Medical Center. I must say I'm proud of all of those achievements, but I'm proud of the following activities of Leon Maynor, which speak to what we try to encourage every Ramaz alumnus and alumna to be. And what a model for the class of 2013. 3 years on the University of Pennsylvania Hillel board, 1 year on the University Council. He started a campus medical first response team staffed by student volunteers to respond to campus medical emergencies. He was awarded the Fox Leadership Award for civic-minded, public-spirited leadership. He serves on the board of directors of Congregation Kesher Israel in Washington, D.C., where he and his wife Jessica Maynor, married in 2010 in a beautiful ceremony officiated by Rabbi Lookstein. Well, that's what it says here. Currently, as you can see, Jessica and Andrew live in Washington, D.C., in Georgetown. But what an example of a sense of responsibility for Klal Yisrael and for all mankind. What a wonderful opportunity for you students of the class of 2013 to hear from Andrew Maynor. Please come forward.
Thank you, Rabbi Lookstein, Mr. Shaviv, Mr. Miller, Rabbi Goldmans, Rabbi Stochel, and the entire Ramaz administration for the honor of addressing the graduating class. First of all, I would like to wish a mazel tov to the class of 2013. You can be proud of your tremendous accomplishments and look forward to an exciting journey that lies ahead. Today, your graduation from high school marks the end of an important chapter in your lives as you leave the comfort of the Ramaz community and prepare to make your mark on the world. As you embark on your next journey, I want to assure you that Ramaz has provided you with a solid foundation of knowledge and of values, a roadmap that will forever guide you and shape your future. At my graduation from Ramaz, 10 years ago today, I remember feeling tremendous excitement about what lay ahead. And I know that my father, who is also here today, celebrating the 50th anniversary of his graduation from Ramaz, shared that same sense of excitement at his graduation. Beyond the excitement, however, I also felt a great deal of uncertainty. I was about to leave for a different city, and for the first time in my academic career, I would be different than those around me. Whether you will be studying in Israel next year or going directly to college, you will all eventually leave the security of this warm and somewhat homogeneous environment and be an observant Jew in an overwhelmingly secular world. No longer will Rabbi Goldmans be reminding you to get to Minyan on time or asking you to straighten your tie. Chagim will no longer be preceded by assemblies, and holidays like Purim will no longer be marked by school carnivals. Many of you will be joining a world that has never heard of a short Friday, let alone a winter Friday, or what in my Ramaz days was called a short Friday. Instead of your friends all winding down for Shabbos, some of you may find yourselves needing to explain your somewhat unusual Friday night schedules. I know that many of you are going to Israel first, and then perhaps to college campuses with large, vibrant Jewish communities. It is important for you to know that those communities do not exist for you. They exist because of people just like you. Graduates of Ramaz and other yeshiva high schools who have, over the course of generations, taken it upon themselves to build Jewish communities at various colleges and universities. Seize the opportunity to get involved in and to make your mark on these communities. Take advantage of leadership positions within them, knowing that you are well suited to actively participate since you have been trained in one of the finest Jewish schools. When I arrived at the University of Pennsylvania, the Jewish community became my natural home. As upperclassmen, many of whom were Ramaz graduates themselves, welcomed me into my new home. I quickly became involved in the Hillel, supported the strong Jewish community, and sought out ways to improve it. Ramaz had prepared me to become involved in Israel advocacy, lead davening, and eventually join the Hillel board. My experiences at Ramaz had uniquely positioned me to moderate the sometimes difficult discussions between the Reform, Conservative, Orthodox, and unaffiliated communities that had to learn to coexist under one roof. Ramaz had taught me the importance of Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Bazeh, Each Jew is responsible for every other Jew, and had given me the tools necessary to interact with my fellow Jews of all denominations. As you leave the comfort of the Ramaz community, you will come across people who observe Judaism and experience their Jewish identity differently than you do. For example, I remember running back to my dorm on Chol Moed Pesach and bumping into an unaffiliated Jewish student that I knew from class. He was drinking a cup of non-kosher soup in the strangest way, making a loud slurping sound. I asked him what he was doing, and with a smile on his face, he said, "It's Passover. I'm using my teeth to separate the chicken soup from the noodles, since I don't eat noodles on Passover." For a brief moment, I was tempted to laugh at the idea of separating noodles from non-kosher chicken soup, but I caught myself, and instead, I asked if he wanted to come over for Shabbos dinner. He later became involved in Hillel, and the following year, he helped me plan the Philadelphia Regional Israel Adequacy Conference. Your challenge, as you go out into the world that lies beyond the safe and secure walls of Ramaz, is to remember that you will be representing Judaism in a world where Jews are a very small minority and observant Jews are an even smaller minority. Be proud of who you are and where you come from. People will respect you for that. In 1899, in an essay entitled Concerning the Jews, Mark Twain explained, "If statistics are right, the Jews constitute but 1% of the human race. It suggests a nebulous dim puff of stardust lost in the blaze of the Milky Way. Properly, the Jew ought hardly to be heard of, but he is heard of and has always been heard of. He is as prominent on the planet as any other people, and his commercial importance is extravagantly out of proportion to the smallness of his bulk. His contributions to the world's list of great names in literature, science, art, music, finance, medicine, and abstruse learning are also a way out of proportion to the weakness of his numbers." Essentially, Mark Twain was describing what we all refer to as being Or LaGoyim, the concept that the Jewish people should strive to be, and have always been, a light unto the nations. Ramaz has always embodied this philosophy through its chesed education programs and political activism. As you go on to become leaders of your college Jewish communities and eventually your local shuls, never forget that you are always representing the Jewish people. Perhaps one of my most memorable moments during my medicine residency was when I was taking care of a very sick, non-Jewish patient at the Veterans Hospital in Washington, D.C. And the patient looked up at me, smiled, and muttered, "My mom always told me if I was ever really sick to find a Jewish doctor." I think that's a stereotype we can all be proud of. I'm not suggesting that all of you should go into medicine. In fact, most of you have probably not yet found your life's passion. And if you have, do not be surprised if it changes. The next several years are an opportunity for exploration. When I started college at the University of Pennsylvania, it was not completely clear that I would eventually go on to medical school. I engaged in academic exploration by majoring in political science. When my parents suggested that I pursue a science major and find research opportunities to prepare me for medical school, I opted for a less conventional route. Instead of titrating chemicals in the lab, I started a campus emergency medical services bike team to respond to campus medical emergencies. The moral of my story is not parents are sometimes wrong, but rather seek counsel from those you trust, but ultimately follow your passions, because there is no one single path to success. The long hours at Ramaz writing history papers, studying calculus, and debating the underlying meaning of the Parsha or the Gemara have certainly prepared you for the academic challenges which lie ahead. But Ramaz has not only taught you the essential skills to excel academically, but it has also given you the tools necessary to succeed in your future professions. Ramaz has imbued each one of you with a sense of communal responsibility, of being a productive member of both the Jewish and the secular communities. As the Hippocratic Oath that I and my fellow physicians take before practicing medicine so aptly states, I remember that I remain a member of society with special obligations to all my fellow human beings. This message is clearly reflected in the book of Yeshayahu, when God asks Yeshayahu, Et mi ashlach u'mi yelech lanu? Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Your responsibility as a Ramaz graduate is to say, Hineni shlacheni. Here I am, send me. Before I conclude, I just want to briefly give you an overview of some of the exciting things that may be in store over the next 10 years. Looking back at the members of my Ramaz class, a lot has changed. Some of my classmates, like myself, have lost a few hairs. Some have discovered life beyond the Hudson. Some are doctors, lawyers, rabbis, teachers, consultants, business people, and some are still students. Many, like me, have found their beshert, and some have children. For a Ramaz graduate, there is no single path forward, but life is short, and time is the world's one truly non-renewable resource. Make the most of every moment, and if you do, I have every reason to believe that you will succeed. Mazel tov.
Thank you very much, Andrew. We couldn't have asked for a better representative or message. A big, big, big yasher koach. And now we come to the moment for which everybody has been waiting, the awarding of diplomas. Before the awarding of diplomas, Ira Miller, the dean of the upper school, will present the class of 2013. Following that, Rabbi Goldmans and Rabbi Stochel will join him in the conferring of diplomas. Mr. Miller.
Ready? Before the Rav, Mr. Shaviv, colleagues, trustees, family, friends, 106 seniors seated before us, eagerly awaiting graduation. Eagerly. Almost. They've come from 24 feeder schools spanning 13 communities in the tri-state area, 52 young men, 54 young women, whose personal and familial journeys have brought them to this point together. Within a generation, at most two, they hail from this great country, from far and wide as Brazil, Morocco, I'm not going to look at each one as I point this out, the Netherlands, believe it or not, Mexico, China, Malaysia, Poland, Uzbekistan, France, Germany, Ireland, Belgium, southern New Jersey. Who could that be? South Africa, Hungary, Iran, Iraq, Georgia, not the South, Soviet Russia by way of Siberia, Argentina, Syria, Lebanon, Medinat Yisrael. Together and individually, they have written innumerable essays. You've heard about the history paper too many times. They've performed scores of laboratory exercises, solved math problems, learned sugyot across 4 masechtot. They have studied responsa and have come to appreciate the greatness and wisdom of Chazal. They have been pursued, or rather pursued, a foreign language, immersed themselves in Lashon HaKodesh. They have imagined and reproduced negative space, believe it or not, composed fugues, and have run laps. They have parsed Tanakh and devoted themselves to the study of divine texts. They have competed in athletics, debate, mock trial. They've written stories, screenplays, poetry. They have learned about community, respect, dignity, hard work, ethical integrity, and sensitivity, all radiating from the shining silver and glass box on 78th Street. Come on, you can do it. They have pioneered in 3D printing. They have assembled electronic components with soldering irons. They have operated drill presses and tested the limits of their engineering metal, no pun intended. They have conducted research into biofuel technology. They have danced and sung their hearts out, painted, acted, photographed. They have celebrated together, and they have comforted each other through times of trial and loss. They have visited the elderly and the infirm. They have served in soup kitchens and delivered food. They have volunteered to help developmentally challenged children and young adults. They have raised money and sent packages to victims of natural disasters. They have lobbied for Israel. They have demonstrated. They have conducted vigils, and they witnessed the release and return of Gilad Shalit. Many of them have traveled to Poland and kissed the ground of Israel. Graduates, no great lumdus. Sometimes the simple, pure elegance of the psukim are more than enough. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanosecha Yisrael. How beautifully sweet and wondrous are your tents, O Yaakov, your dwellings, O Yisrael. Bilam cannot bring himself to utter a bad word about the community of Israel. He's compelled to offer this well-known and often cited blessing. Perched high above, he surveys the peaceful tents, the closely knit bonds of community. He perceives the inherent modesty, the tzniut of Klal Yisrael, the holy path of balance, respect, dignity, and compassion, the cultivated and refined midot, each individual's sensitivity to the other's needs, and to each neshama's divine origin and value. He feels the spiritual glow that radiates from our people's love of and dedication to learning, our perseverance towards a lofty and divine goal. He understands and appreciates the effects of learning and living a life dedicated to mitzvot, the effects on character and spirituality. These are our values, our divine legacy. Hold them close, cleave to them, and cherish them. They will sustain and support you. They will bring you fulfillment, and they will bring glory to our world. And so, for you, the 106 members of the graduating class of 2013, bright, smiling, shining, optimistic faces, beaming with pride and expectant joy, poised, emerging young women and men, prepared and ready to accept the challenges of the next stage of life. Here comes the formulation. We, the faculty and administration of the Ramaz Upper School, present you for graduation. You have met all requirements and have demonstrated the character and integrity that are intrinsic to our school mission. It is our hope and prayer that you each will continue to dream and to aspire to the heights of achievement and distinction, that you will be successful in that quest, and most important, that you will each find peace and fulfillment and enjoy the fruits of health and prosperity in meeting and surpassing all challenges. Now for the diplomas.
Amram Olsman. Max Alcobi. Gabrielle Aegis. Joshua Adler. Stephanie Abadi. Andrew Bergman. Jacob Bergfeld. Meyer Ben-Nun. Stephen Bentolila. Aharon Ben-Hamo. Michelle Ben-Ali. David Dalal. Jonathan Daniels. Alicia Shetrit. Ben Charles. Emmanuel Cantor. Jared Brown. Jonathan Broom. Tal Or Baron. Elaine Betesh. Joshua Frolinger. L. Freed. Seth Finkelstein. Eliza Ezrapour. Celia Ivlin. Talia Engelmeyer. Rebecca Emmerich. Victoria Ellison. Sonia Duche. Isabel Jeremy Hoffman. Jonathan Herman. Jake Harari. Emma Handlin. Andrew Burwich. Menachem Goldstein. Allie Goldstein. James Isaac Goldberg. Allison Goldberg. Danielle Bartenberg. Jonathan Claristenfeld. Hannah Clapper. Darian Kolar. Zoe Katz. Rachel Katan. Talia Jaffe. Josh Jaspin. Celine Ifra. Rachel Hubener. Raina Hordish. Dahlia Colhagen. Aaron Cole. And Daniela Kogan. A round of applause for our first half of the graduates. Nina Leibowitz. Effie Landau. Lauren Krause. Noah Hornsgold. Jonathan Coptier. Sarah Malamut. Daniel Luxembourg. Daniel Lowe. Dahlia Lipman. Elliot Linder. Eliezer Levy. Jonathan Nasgino. Sarah Myers. Noah Moskowitz. Solomon Mikhailo. Daniel Metzman. Eli Mendelson. Ben Marks. Jacob Margolis. Jack Mamie. Ronnie Saad. Rafi Snow. Eliana Rosenstein. Debbie Rosenfeld. Adi Rosen. Nina Rohr. Jake Rimberg. Gil Rafael. Dan Rappaport. Alyssa Akminsasser. Daniel Oro. Michal Siegel. David Schwartz. Avi Schwartzchild. Isaac Schwartzberg. Risa Schwartz. Ben Schwartz. Talia Schulder. Michal Schorsch. Julia Scherzer. Meryl Salpeter. Tova Weinberger. Sabina Tilovitz. Sam Strauss. Talia Sturman. Rafi Snow. Ryan Shore. Layla Shohet. Vanessa Schnee. Talia Sharon. Rebecca Shams. David Wiles. Zachary Weiss. And Andrew Weiss. Let's hear a big round of applause for the Ramaz graduates of the class of 2013.
Okay. Tassels from the right to the left. And while you're standing, an old Ramaz tradition that really goes back to the first graduation from the Ramaz Elementary School. There was no high school then, in 1943, where we ask the graduates to thank their parents and grandparents who are responsible for bringing them to this day. And now to express your gratitude to the members of the faculty whom we ask to please rise. And finally, a school needs professional leadership of all kinds, but it also needs lay leadership. So we ask the members of the Ramaz board who are here to please rise in their seats and give them a round of applause. Okay, now please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce for the first time at an upper school graduation our new head of school, Mr. Paul Shaviv.
I've remarked on several occasions that I was in Toronto for 14 years, and it took 6 years until one of my colleagues stopped introducing me as the new head of school. Rabbi Lookstein, Jacob Doft, chair of the Ramaz board, Ira Miller, dean, colleagues, parents, friends, and of course, our 2013 graduates. It's really been a pleasure for me to get to know the class of 2013. From my first few days at Ramaz, at the beginning of the year, when curious students knocked on my door, ostensibly to look for the staff room, but really to check out whether the reputedly luxurious furnishings in the new office were for real. Was there really a gold-plated jacuzzi? Did you hear what he's put in? From that to the many, many pleasant mornings I spent davening with the Sephardi Minyan, whose I have to say, whose 12th grade representatives seem to mysteriously evaporate towards the end of the year. But the many other wonderful school occasions I shared and attended, led by our seniors. And generally, I enjoyed very much watching this very accomplished group navigating their way towards upper school graduation and to their futures. As I mentioned to you all at the recent principals' dinner, you're entering a period of your lives when you will all have rare freedom, rare mobility, and the rarest commodity of all, youth. It should be a time of idealism. In a great Hasidic story, and I'm not one from whose lips Hasidic stories generally sort of flow, the Rebbe of Sants, the Divrei Chaim, is reputed to have said, "When I was young, I thought I could influence the world. When I became a little older, I thought that if I could influence my town, that would be a great achievement. At a later stage in life, I wondered if I could influence even my family, and now that I'm old, I strive to keep control of myself." But there is a corollary to this story, which is that when you're young, you should believe that you can change the world. And I hope that we've taught you that at Ramaz, whether through your studies of Torah and Navi, literature or history, the chesed activities on behalf of the homeless, the hungry, disadvantaged, the needy, or by political activism on behalf of Israel or on behalf of minorities. But the power of ideas and ideals is huge. In the last 100 years, our lives have been changed more by ideas and ideals, good and bad, than by anything else. Whether of the political left or the political right, of religion or nationalism, whether here in America, in Europe, in Asia, or certainly in the Middle East, ideas drive the agendas of nations. In the ocean of ideas that you will encounter, I'd like to offer some quick pointers to help you navigate. Number one, just remember, there is no single idea that will solve all of the problems of the entire world or which will repair all of the inequalities of society. The pursuit of such ideas is usually a dangerous illusion and often involves violence. The late Isaiah Berlin, one of the great philosophers of freedom and of the pluralistic society, noted that the eggs are broken and the habit of breaking them grows, but the omelette remains invisible. Number two, is there an alternate vision to that great utopian search? Again, back to Isaiah Berlin, who describes the pluralistic world of coexisting civilizations and competing systems, each with its own, quote mark, center of gravity, of unique culture and values. I like that idea of every group having its unique center of gravity of culture and values. I think we Jews understand that very well. We have tried at Ramaz to show you our own center of gravity, based on the complex compound of Torah, of Jewish heritage and history, culture, community, and the totality of Jewish experience. Number 3, sometimes ideals and ideas will clash with each other. Total freedom of the wolves will mean death for the lambs. Sometimes you have to learn to stand up and be a fanatic for moderation. Reasonable persons will seek to live with the other and not be in conflict. Be prepared to listen, to respect, to negotiate, and if possible and if necessary, to compromise. We can live with with others without seeking to impose our views. And lastly, al achat kama v'chama. How much more does all of this apply within our own Jewish world? A tiny, extraordinary community whose influence on civilization far outstrips its numbers. But it is a confused Jewish world that you are graduating into, still reeling from the Holocaust, whose effect on Jewish families and on the collective consciousness of the Jewish people still rolls through our generation and will continue to do so for decades to come. On the other hand, we are still trying to make sense of the greatest positive event in post-biblical Jewish history, the establishment of Israel. All of you, as you go forward, treat those with whom we disagree within our own Jewish community as partners, not as enemies. Spread the message of tolerance inside and outside our community. Build ideals and Jewish vision. Continually search within and strengthen our own Jewish center of gravity. So our central message is clear and simple. Strive to be tolerant, to be decent, and to be honest, engaged with your Jewishness and contributing to humanity. I hope that we are graduating you with exactly that message and that vision, and we look forward to hearing great things about every single one of you. This is also, end of party political broadcast. This is also an appropriate moment to recognize the administration and faculty of the upper school. Mr. Miller, our dean, Rabbi Goldmintz, to whom we wish well for the coming year, Rabbi Stochel, and the entire faculty of staff, all of whom show great commitment to the school and its students. I would also like to acknowledge especially somebody who I always thought until quite recently was actually a member of staff, but actually it turns out she's this year's president of the GO, the very talented and, where is she? Nina, where are you? The very talented and petite Nina Rohr, who exercised rule over other seniors 3 times her size with an iron fist, and to thank her and her team. Many people worked hard to put together this ceremony under, actually, for various reasons, quite difficult circumstances. Our Master of Ceremonies, Rabbi Luckstein, incomparable. Dr. Joan Warshall was our mastermind. Karen Cobham worked her way through many of the logistic and organizational details. Ira Miller, as usual, kept his benevolent eye on everything. Kenny Rocklin organized many details. And we enjoyed the indispensable help of Sito, of Cheryl and the maintenance crew, Mamadou and the security team, and Rami Yadid, who is probably hidden up somewhere, dealt with the sound and light. I'd like to thank them all together, and with numerous others, especially Pamela SS, who was very helpful, for contributing to the final result. Have a restful summer. It is well deserved, all of you. To everyone, good luck in college. To those who will first be learning or volunteering in Israel, have a great, deepening experience. And finally, all of you, please keep in touch with us. Thank you very much.
While Rabbi Goldmans has yet to take his seat, I would like to ask you, as a special show of support and gratitude, to Rabbi J. Goldmans. Next year, Rabbi Goldmans will be on sabbatical after 32 years in Ramaz in various roles. Rabbi Goldmans. Okay. We are now ready to complete our exercises. They will be completed with the closing prayer to be delivered by Gabi Agus. While Gabi is coming up to the stage, I want to tell you that at the conclusion of her prayer, the senior chorale, the chamber choir, will lead us in the singing of Hatikva, and they can come up now, so they'll be ready as soon as Gabi finishes her prayer. Following that, there will be a recessional by the administration, the faculty, and the students, and then we ask you to join everyone outside and have a great celebration of this absolutely wonderful class of 2013. Yes, right. I would like to ask James Goldberg to come to the stage, to stand with the choir at Hatikva. We're not asking him to sing with them, but James Goldberg is continuing a Ramaz tradition of at least one graduate each year going from Ramaz into the Israel Defense Forces. Please rise.
We are fortunate. How good is our portion, how pleasant our lot, and how beautiful our heritage. Our Lord, we are obliged to praise you, glorify you, bless you, and offer thanks to your name. To the Ramaz Upper School, from which it is difficult to part today. Ramaz, it is a tree of life for those who maintain it, and those who lean upon it are a community that strides towards salvation. May you continue to go from strength to strength. To our teachers, who have imparted to us knowledge so rich and deep. They opened their mouths with wisdom, and the teaching of loving kindness was upon their tongues. To these teachers, and to all those who engage in the study of Torah, may they have abundant peace, grace, kindness, and mercy, long lives, and salvation. To our families, whose everlasting support and encouragement have kept us going each and every day. Children's children are the crown of the old, and the adornment of children are their parents. Dear families, may the King of the universe bless you. May he increase your days and lengthen your years. May you look upon the good of Jerusalem for all of the days of your life, and may you see the children of your children. To our classmates, our companions on this amazing journey, how pleasant it is when friends live together in unity. May God put it into our hearts to gain insight and understanding, to hear, to learn, and to teach, to observe, and to do. May it be your will, our God, that you guide us towards peace, direct our footsteps towards peace, and make us reach our desired destinations for life, for happiness, and for peace. The Lord will guard our going and coming from this time and forever. May it be his will, and let us say, Amen.
Shine.